Sea Rider, bridge.
They know they were supposed to call in?
Yeah, every 10 minutes. Every time one of the small boats goes out, it's the responsibility of the boat driver to communicate with the ship, to relay coordinates, to let us know where they are.
Yeah, that's Sea Rider crew. I don't understand why they're not calling in. They better have a good excuse.
Sea Rider, bridge.
I wish people would follow instructions. But how come this bloody Sea Rider's not answering?
Sea Rider, bridge.
Right. I'm really pissed.
With no response from the Sea Rider, the bridge checks up on the Delta to see if at least one of their boats is still on target.
Delta bridge. Do you still have a visual on the target?
Negative, we've lost the target,
Roger. The Delta quickly lost sight of the Yushinmaru as it once again kicked into gear and ran away from us.
Yeah. We lost on the radar, though.
Still on the radar.
No, I'm going to bring them back on board. We can't go. If they're off the radar, we can't go after. I can't send these guys out. No, we're going to have to bring everything back in. We lost them. I'm telling them to pick up the Sea Rider.
Return to home base and pick up the Sea Rider on your way.
Affirmative.
Missed our chance. People. Well, I feel disappointed. I don't know what's so difficult about just radioing every 10 minutes. I don't know how many chances like this we'll get again. Idiots.
The Sea Rider is the first boat to return to the Steve Irwin after the Sea Shepherds failed to execute their plan.
Pissed off, yeah. We lost track of them, so we couldn't find them anymore. And, unfortunately, we had to head back, so this time they got away, but hopefully they won't get a second chance.
The disappointed Sea Rider crew is called to the bridge to face the captain's questions regarding their failure to properly use the satellite phone.
Are you in the Sea Rider?
Yeah.
Can't communicate with you. Turned off.
It was turned off.
It was turned off.
It was in the dry bag.
Oh, well, yeah, but they're supposed to call in every 10 minutes.
Repercussions from the botched boarding attempt continue as Dr. David Page diagnoses Peter Brown's thumb injury.
So how's his thumb looking?
It's really hard to tell whether it's just the ligaments on both sides or whether it has fractured through it. The extent of the injury, I would expect a fracture.
The doctor's immobilization technique.
See how the thumb is swollen. Putting a plaster on at the moment, in 3 or 4 days it'll be loose, and tanking off is going to be really difficult here.
Tensions run high as the second boat, the Delta, returns with the all-female boarding team. But the forced retreat isn't the worst outcome of the action.
Get the doctor! Someone get the doctor! What happened?
Back aboard the Steve Irwin, after a failed attack on the Yushinmaru, Shannon has collapsed under the deck.
So what happened?
Move this clear.
Shannon's injury was certainly a very serious injury. She just about collapsed when she got back on board the Steve Irwin.
The medical team has to quickly assess the severity of the situation to determine if it is life-threatening.
Shannon seemed to have gotten hurt, hurts her pelvis, so they carried her stretcher style in a hammock to the mess.
When I saw Shannon, she thought she sustained a fractured pelvis. I know that fractured pelvis can bleed profusely.
Thousands of miles away from the nearest hospital, Dr. David Page is unsure if he has adequate medical supplies to treat such a serious pelvic injury.
I was very grateful that one of my hospitals gave me some drugs which enabled me to be able to give her a blood thinning agent to reduce the risk of blood clots, which she can get in big trouble from a pelvic fracture when she's immobilised.
Second mate Peter Hammerstead calls in Delta boat driver Dan Babawi to account for the accident at sea.
What happened with Shannon?
Well, when we were the Steve Ivan thing met up, I was under the impression that wanted all the boarding teams to come back.
Myself and the Hammer were really disappointed. I was really frustrated.
Shannon was sat forward, just in front of my controls.
Right.
So she wasn't in a crew seat, which was rough. And I told everyone this is going to be rough.
We unexpectedly launched off one of the waves. It came down. We got airborne. You'd hear the motors going.
Bam! Smacked down into the bow of the Delta. She kept on looking at me. She was like, something's not right. Like, I've really hurt myself.
I do feel bad about it. Even though she said it's not my fault. It's her fault, but still feel responsible. I was driving, so ultimately it is my responsibility.
Peter Hammerstead calls an all-crew meeting to discuss the day's events.
So, what happened today? A couple things went wrong. A lot of things went wrong. But basically, the injuries that we sustained today could absolutely all have been avoided.
Just so you know, when you're in those Zodiacs, in the calmest of seas, stuff happens. You have to always be ready.
You have to radio check with us every 10 minutes, or else we're going to assume the worst and we're going to ask you to come back.
We're in charge. You got to listen to us. You can debate it later on. You got to do what you're told.
They're certainly running now, so they're not whaling, so we've accomplished that. We'll just drill, and drill again. But that's pretty much what happened. We just have to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I was very relieved when Shannon was able to pass through water without problem, confirming that we didn't have a significant injury.
The doc kept on checking my blood pressure. Like, every few minutes, he was checking. And later he told me that if you sever a vessel down there, you can bleed out in 10 minutes and die. So that's why he kept on checking my blood pressure. And he came in and gave me an injection of blood thinner.
It's injection time.
The Sea Shepherd crew is back in pursuit of the Japanese whaling fleet. Communications Officer Todd Emko has uncovered activity on the Steve Irwin's radar.
I just noticed this trail is not going the right way of all the naturally drifting objects here, and it's moving a lot faster than everything else, so that's definitely a ship.
We've been slowly gaining on them, just on one engine. Yeah, we think so. And I just entered an ice field, which we're hoping will slow them a touch more.
It's bigger than any ship that we've ever seen on radar so far. It's got a long and flat hull, and it has almost definable shape on radar, which is almost unheard of at this range.
There it was. We saw this blip on our radar, and it was really big. So it was big from far away, so we knew it couldn't have been one of the catcher ships, and there are very few ships in that area of the world that are the size of the Nishin Maru.
The Nishin Maru is the heart of the Japanese whaling fleet. This 8,000-ton factory vessel receives the slaughtered whales from the harpoon ships, and then processes the meat on board for shipment back to Japan.
Forget about the harpoon boats. We don't have to worry about them. Shut down that boat, we shut down the entire industry, because they cannot process a whale if they can't get the whales to that boat. So that's the whole thing. Just shut down the Nishin Maru, you shut down everything.
And closest to them.
We may actually see the Nishin Maru with our own eyes, and it'll be a good day for the whales, a good day for Sea Shepherd. Speed you got now?
13.5. Not much of an improvement. We're gaining ground.
Well, I find the Nishin Maru to be the most evil ship on the face of the planet right now. I would dearly love to send it to the bottom.
The The officers continue to monitor the enemy ship's movements from the bridge, when suddenly, a ship-wide power failure stops the Sea Shepherds in their tracks.
Lost engines, lost all power, apparently lost all
When we lost power, we lost the gyro, so it took me a little while before we could steer by whatever again.
Mal had his Mustang suit on, and I woke up and I said, Mal, is everything okay?
We lost power, a complete power failure about 5 or 10 minutes ago, and immediately following that, the main engine cut out. So it's about 3:30 in the morning.
The Steve Irwin is now sailing through the Southern Ocean completely blind, without power to their navigation systems, engines, or steering.
Keep our eyes out for icebergs.
They float helplessly amidst a scatter of icebergs. With no ability to maneuver the ship or monitor the oceans beyond the view from the bridge, the Steve Irwin is in serious danger of colliding with an iceberg in the pitch-black night.